Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic: don't make social media your life. Don't make social media your life. Now, I've been going around different channels on YouTube and even searching some Facebook pages to see what's going on in the social media world. And what I'm finding is the same old you know what. Individuals putting their business in the open. It is very dangerous. Why? Because you don't know who is viewing your Facebook page. You don't know who's watching your videos. You don't know who's looking at your Instagram. But one thing that is clear to me, a number of individuals aren't using social media for the right purpose. Now, from my own personal opinion, I believe social media should be used as a tool to network so you can meet people, whether it's to make friends or network for a job. What I've seen, particularly on YouTube, is a number of going back and forth for no reason. Why? Because you have individuals who are very bitter, they're sexually frustrated, they don't like each other, and this is men and women, and this is all over. But the bottom line, what we're doing is we're not looking at our own individual issues outside of social media. We're putting all of our frustrations in front of a camera so people can see who we are based on how we present ourselves on social media. Now, here's what I suggest individuals to do before you put yourself on social media. If you have mental issues, you should get yourself some counseling. Now, everybody on social media is not bad, but I know, looking at the black sector, it has become a circus. And it's going to get worse. Now, there are a number of channels that have been flagged. Some of them have been put back up. Some of them have never been put back up. But what's sad about social media, particularly in the black sector, is we are taking everything personally because of social media. And when that happens, that means we're not living in the real world. We're living in this virtual world by going at people we may never meet in real life. Now, social media can be fun. And remember, it's not the social media's fault. It's the individual who is on social media who is presenting their information. Now, there's a lot of good information that is on social media. There's a lot of bad information. But the bottom line is, which side are you on? Now, on my channel, I do self-awareness videos. Now, I may not get the views that some of the larger individuals get because, number one, I'm not using this platform to get paid. I'm not using this platform to get subscribers. I'm using this platform to help people who want to be helped. I give information regarding what's going on in the real world. That's why I title my channel the 411 Talk Zone radio show. Now, my information is always going to be positive. It's educational, and it's going to be boring to some people. Now, you can always tell on social media by the friends you have their ability to critically think and observe. Now, because I don't have a large subscriber count, I can put any type of content that I want on YouTube as long as it's not offensive. But see, I use social media because, number one, I enjoy delivering information. It helps me with my speaking skills. But here's one thing that I will not use social media for is to vent my frustrations. Now, the problem with a number of individuals is they're not living in the real world when they get on social media. You must remember, people in general can be chameleons. They can present themselves one way, but when they're not on camera, who are they? You see, there's one thing you're going to always know about me. I'm Leon Jones while I'm on camera, and when I get off camera, I'm Leon Jones. That is my real name. This is my real face that you see. But the bottom line, when it comes to social media, when I present my material, everything that I utilize comes from the heart and my own research. And I don't have anything against anybody else because I don't take what people say personally. Certainly have I had trolls who have come on my channel. Everybody has. But because I don't make a big deal of it, the trolls become relevant. I don't make a big deal out of people unsubscribing to my channel. Because to me, social media is a place that I can network and make some good friends based on people that share my same views, like Brother Guy King and Brother Matt Coley and Brother Real Deal. But I just believe that the social media has gotten out of hand when people vent their frustrations and violence starts to happen. The name calling, the hate, the vitriol. Because somebody has a difference of opinion. Now, of course, YouTube has its rules. And when you're on YouTube, you have to watch your content. You can't go out utilizing hate speech or you'll get your channel flagged. Now, of course, there have been people who have gotten their channels flagged, but here's one thing. When you get your channel flagged, I always say have a 2 terabit hard drive, so if something happens to your channel, you can put your channel back up. That's one way. But number 2, if your content isn't hate speech, you don't have to worry about it. Now, I'm not saying social media is not a good tool. It is. I've gotten job offers. I've got invites to go speak based off of social media. And there's a lot of social media out there, not just YouTube. There's Vimeo. There's Snapchat. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you're looking to date outside of dating sites, there are a lot of apps that you can utilize on your mobile devices. But regardless of what platform of social media you use, you have to use it for the right reason. If you use it for the wrong reason, you could hurt yourself as well as others. Now again, a lot of us who are content creators put work into what we do. But you must remember, when it comes to what you do on social media, what you put out has a direct reflection on who you are or what people perceive you to be. Social media is here to stay. If you're not into technology, when it comes to social media, because it's another way to communicate with others, and social media is global. And if you don't understand social media, you're going to be lost. That's like that old dog. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. That old dog is useless. But you must remember, social media is not the real world. And I believe that too many of us bring our frustrations to social media, and this is what causes all this beefing, and it's senseless. It makes us all look bad, particularly if you're black. And the black sector of YouTube is very small. And again, you don't know who's watching what you do and what you say. And I always tell individuals, if you're going to start a new YouTube channel, watch what you say. Watch what you do. Because what you say can be and will be used against you if somebody's trying to harm you. But if you keep everything in perspective while you're utilizing social media, it can be a very useful tool. Just remember something. It's people who make the social media. It's not the social media itself. Now, of course, there are a number of people up here every day who put out content. Some people make it on YouTube, some people don't. Some people do very well with Facebook, some people don't. Now, I will tell you this. You shouldn't just rely on social media. You should also get out in the real world. And like I said with my channel, I do more assessment in the real world and then I bring it to YouTube. Because I always believe in the real world first. Because human contact is very important. And this is a big problem when it comes to social media. It has actually taken out the skills on how to be social. People can hide behind social media. It gives them relevancy when they really didn't have the relevancy in the real world, especially when it comes to dating. But when you take time to go out in the real world, stop, look, listen, and observe what's going on around you, you're going to understand life in more of a realistic form. What happens with social media, too many of us are on here for entertainment purposes. Now, some of us are serious, some of us aren't. But one thing that's clear to me, too many of us take a lot of what's said personal, and what happens, we react very emotionally. And I've always said in the past that emotions cloud critical thinking. When it comes to people's channels on YouTube or Facebook pages or Vimeo, if you don't like what's being said, you don't have to flag their channels. Just move to another channel. You don't have to watch their content. But just going back and forth at one another is not going to help any cause. It hurts the cause. And I always say, when it comes to communication, no matter how it's done, you have to give each other a chance to lay their points out there. Because a lot of times when we disagree, it's not based on the subject matter, because we could both go in the same direction. It's philosophical. But a lot of us always think that our opinion is superior to the next person's opinion. That's where we get lost when it comes to social media. That's why a number of us overtalk. We cut people off that we don't like. We become very rude to each other. And then we slander each other on social media. And all that equals is we take it too seriously by making it our life instead of part of our life. Social media is a good tool. But at the end of the day, it's not going to do us any good if we don't use it properly. Now, I always say this. If you're going to start a new YouTube channel, or you're You're going to go on Facebook the first time. But I'm going to stick to YouTube. Know what type of content you're going to put out. And know how to deliver the content. Everybody has different talents. Now, when I put my content out, I don't have to utilize a lot of swearing. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. Am I against people who swear? No, because I heard it a lot in my life. I was in the military. But when it comes to social media, you be crisp, clear, and concise about how you are presenting the information. Now, some people are going to get it, and some people aren't. Again, with every type of social media, including Facebook, you're going to have trolls. How do you deal with the trolls? Easy. You ignore the trolls. I know I was on one of Brother Guy King's videos, and I can tell you, for about 3 or 4 days straight, and you can go catch that video. I forgot the name of it myself, but there are two people, and they were going back and forth for 3 or 4 straight days. I put my comment up there, and if people disagreed with my comment, guess what I did? I kept it moving. I did not take it personally, because there was one African American lady. She said, "Don't be mad when somebody calls you a dog." Okay, what was that supposed to mean? I don't know. I wasn't going to respond to that comment because it wasn't relevant. Why? Because I didn't take it personally. That person took it personally. And usually when somebody takes something personal after somebody has discussed something or presented something, guess what? It usually pushes a button. And what you're saying has an effect on that person. So you can learn a lot from social media, even if you don't like the tone or agree with the manner it is being presented. But too many people listen to the tone instead of the message. The truth does hurt. But people who are putting out content with the truth, respect them, because you will learn something. It's the people who are just taking everything personally and they're utilizing their emotional well-being to subjugate people to whom they disagree with. Again, it's not the social media's fault. It's the people who are on social media. Now, do I like the rules that have been set out for YouTube? No. Why? Because YouTube does alleviate free speech. But what happened was you had a number of people who were actually blatant with the hatred. You had a number of individuals that tried to get brothers' channels flagged. That didn't work. And the smart thing about brothers, they can always go somewhere else, utilize YouTube for politically correct or a lighter version of what they want to say, have their own websites or blog talk radio. That's when they have their raw talk. Now for me, if I really want to get raw about my material, that's what I have blog talk radio for. And blog talk radio is a good source. Why? Because I can attract listeners based on my content. And I utilize that as another source of social media. But even with Blog Talk Radio, I don't take anything personally. And a good brother out there, and check his channel out, I believe his name is Alpha Male Strategy. That brother's got a lot of knowledge He could be a life coach. He's a dating coach. He's a very straight up brother. Just got on YouTube. And he's doing very well. Now, there are people who hate that brother right now. Why do they hate him? They hate him because he's successful. And in this game of social media, you're going to have haters. If you don't have people who are jealous of you, you got to step your game up. I have a couple people who hated me because I had a good radio voice. And I'm not afraid to get in front of the camera and go for 25 to 30 minutes. But when I use social media, I put out positive content. To people who aren't in education or self-awareness, it's going to be boring. And that's another problem, particularly in the black community, when it comes to social media. Too many of us utilize it strictly for entertainment. And that's what makes black people look bad. And we're all looked at as buffoons because of a few individuals who don't know how to conduct themselves on social media. And there's a variety of content out here in the black sector. It's a small sector. But people watch what we say in the black sector. But unfortunately, with black people, whether we're on social media or in the real world, we're always stereotyped by the bad black people. And that's a problem. And even black people who are bad black people don't want to deal with black people who have some type of education. Because there are a number of them, and I'm going to do a video later on that says, you haven't achieved anything by living in the hood. You achieve something by knowing how to get out. And getting out of the hood means you take your mindset with you. Because a lot of people will go from the hood to a decent area, but they still have that hood inside them. Why? Because you can take people out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of them. And the ghetto is in the mindset. But a lot of people don't know what the hood and the ghetto is. That's for another video. But what I'm trying to get everybody to understand when it comes to social media is you have to live in the real world. Social media is not your life. And too many of us are making it our lives. What we need to do, and I'm talking about individuals who are on social media, and that includes myself. I'm not on it as much as I used to, but I get on it from time to time. You need to have hobbies. And the more hobbies you have, and the more knowledge you gain outside of social media, that's more content that you can put on social media. And the more content you have, the more views you get on social media. And you must remember, everything is not based on drama. But there are a number of us up here who are filled with drama and hate. And this is why they make social media their lives. And at the end of the day, you're only going to cause yourself nothing but stress, which leads to heart disease, which leads to stroke, high blood pressure, and eventually death. And what I'm putting out is something very simple. You need to get away from the keyboard, away from the camera for a few. Get some fresh air. Go out into the real world, because the real world still has a lot to offer, and meet people in the real world. Social interaction, face to face, is crucial, because you can hide behind social media for so long. And it's easy to lie about who you are or be deceptive when it comes to hiding behind social media. See, in the real world, you can be found out based on your actions. Certainly, you can hide in the real world if you don't deal with the same people all the time. But once people get abreast of who you are, based on what you do, you'll find out if they trust you or they don't trust you, or you'll find out if you can trust them. But what I'm delivering is, too many of us make social media our life instead of being part of our lives. You must remember, when we make social media part of our lives, we should use it as a tool to network, not a tool to go back and forth and take everything personally and threaten violence or any type of harm against one another. And the last thing I want to say, it's not the social media, but social media does have an impact on our lives. But in the end, we still need to have social skills. But if you use social media properly, you can build a good network. And you can have good discussions. But you're only going to hurt yourself if you utilize it to cause harm, not only to yourself, but to others. But most of all, you need to understand the real world. Social media is not your life. It should be a tool that you use to enhance your life. And again, you can network and meet people. But the last thing you want to do is make threats, take your frustrations out on others because you're upset with what's going on in your life. And if you have problems with your life, you should get counseling. So there are a number of us who are very insecure about who we are. We are in denial and in delusion that we don't have mental issues. A number of us do have mental issues. And there's nothing wrong with getting help. But it's not going to help you to get on social media, to get irrational, emotional, hateful, deceitful, and violent. Because at the end of the day, social media is a tool. It is not your life. If you really want to know what's going on around you, go out in the real world. Because the real world is going to give you all the information you need. And if you don't believe me, just try it. You'll find out the real world has a lot more to offer than social media. And remember something about the real world. It is real. It's not virtual. And at the end of the day, life and death are real. Social media is virtual. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Thursday, March 15th, 2018. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. I've been doing my Blog Talk Radio shows from 3 to 6 on Sundays. I may go with that date, but regardless, if you want to be a guest on my show, guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube, so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on my channel, I do not debate. I don't talk about emotional or controversial issues, and that's based on how you as the audience member receives the information. It may be very emotional to you. I always say, if you don't like the content, you don't have to watch the video. But also, I don't engage in drama and I don't bicker. Why? Because it's counterproductive. My channel is educational and it's a self-awareness channel. When I give you information, I present it from sources that I have researched, and I give you my own personal experiences. Just like social media. I live in the real world. Social media is not the real world. And if you understand the real world, you will have much better successes in it if you have the tools. Because knowledge is power. And if you have a topic, a new YouTube channel or business that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, simply email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering. If you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time. My name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed night. God bless you and good night.